this is going to be a battle. XGrid versus Meta. Who will win the Gaussian battle? And let me welcome to the stage the founder at Vibe, Alex Harvey. Let's give it up for Alex.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Hi, everyone. I think next time, if Michael asks me to chat again, I'm going to ask him who's going before me. I felt like I was back at Codemasters making racing games. That was amazing and stunning, and I'd love to chat more about that. So, XGrids versus Meta, or PortalCam versus Meta. Let's get into that a little bit. Thanks for Michael and Thomas for inviting me. This is a church in Warwick. It's called St. Mary's Church, and we do a lot of work there, so I thought it's a really good place to test some of this scanning out. And obviously, the Hyperscape is being used in the Quest 3, and XGrids is the new capture device I've been playing with. So, 10 years of 3D models. I'm addicted to photogrammetry, and it's my passion, and it's all I do at the moment. So, the journey started with PolyCam back in the day, and let's play this so you can see a few models. But PolyCam led into Sketchfab, which led into selling lots of different models. And it all came from passion. You're probably going to see a lot of random objects on here. But as we scroll through this list, my addiction started with PolyCam. I had my phone in my hand, and I saw the ability to capture photogrammetry models so quickly, and the pipeline was beautiful for me to go straight up to Sketchfab and just add a little price on it, and then I could press sell straight away. There'll be some people that probably moan at me because we didn't clean up the models that much or decimate them. They just kept selling as they were. So that was the addiction for photogrammetry. Moving on, I always like to say it's what the clients want to see as the end product. So it's not always going to be Gaussians. I know we talk about it, and I'm excited by it at the moment. But, for example, here's the church again, or the museum around the corner, and we're showing off here one of the exhibits that we've got in Warwick. We've currently got 3, and we're looking to get more and more, and then hopefully we can double the price in London. That's the idea. The inspiration came from Apple Park. When we went to the visitor centre in San Fran, I saw that they had iPads and a model of Apple Park. You hold the iPad over, and the model comes to life. So we're basically saying here that it's not always a Gaussian. This is traditional 3D modeling with animation, and it's got the object tracking as well, so you can see what you're looking at. This is the path of the Fire of Warwick in 1694. So the kids and adults go in, and they can hold the tablet and see the path and which way the smoke went and which way the fire went around the town in Warwick. We also have the stats in there, so it's feeding back all the time, all the live data of who's using it, and it gets used a lot. So we're going to release it as an app and put a little sticker on the side so people can take it home with them, and that's going to be the model going forward. So I'll skip this, we'll go on to the next one, and we'll see it in action in the church around the corner. The text says church on every screen. And sorry about the resolution, I had a last-minute change of it. So here's the next one. It is, same again, overlay, but you get to see the church through time, or through all the different ages of time, as an overlay. And so, it's photogrammetry over the top. This was actually a 3D rendered model just from scratch. And this is the bit that I like to say. I saw it on Thomas's talk yesterday, and someone asked, is this stuff actually making you money? And I always say to people, it depends what type of money you're after. So we've got 3 scales of money here. I'll show you what the 3D's been doing for me. This is a dead pigeon. Sorry, everyone. But it's sold for $7.99 12 times on Sketchfab. So if you want to make money that's small, get your phone out, start scanning everything like I did, and things sell like our friend Pigeon. If you want to make a little bit more money, then we can sell 3D assets from historical sites into games like Puzzle in Places. So here, we're looking at Ambrose Dudley, the tomb from St. Mary's Church. And it is inside Puzzle in Places, and we're having a multiplayer game. This is 2 years ago, actually. Multiplayer game, building Ambrose Dudley from scratch. the beauty here is the church got paid £2,000 to license it into the game. They were happy. I didn't take any money, but it was nice to see that could happen. I called it to the church an inanimate object. They didn't like that very much. But it's an object that doesn't do anything in their church. So for me, this is how we can get repeated things of a similar nature in the future. So if you want to make a little bit more money, the resolution's a bit skew-whiff, but although I'm now Vibe, my previous life was 8 years at River, started River, and we sold this. So we sold the company, and I exited, and this is now going off as a training platform with LearnPro. So here's my journey so far. Sorry about the slide again. Codemasters, I was there for 8 years, making racing games, which is why I was so interested to see the previous video. It felt like I was back in the game, making the trailers. My job was to crash the cars together in a game engine, and then go back to the replay and play it start to finish, and then move the camera and capture all of the angles to make you buy the game. That was my job as a video editor. Then we moved to River, and now we're doing Vibe things. So when we first touched on Hyperscape, this was the moment that got me, when I stepped into Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. I don't know if anyone's ever done it in Hyperscape, but it absolutely blew my head off. Because I've been in photogrammetry for so long, and it was always a massive, long process to get the models into VR so that we could see it. When I saw this, I thought, no way, they haven't captured this so quickly. And then I started playing with it myself and realized that it was as simple as that to capture. So this was probably mid last year when I started seeing these Gaussians in a headset. And then Laura, my wife, didn't see me for probably about 3 months, because this is the view inside my headset of all my Meta Hyperscape captures. So there's so many different places we scanned, but the weird thing is you look a little bit odd capturing with this. You're not capturing with a camera, you've just got the headset on, walking around a stage, or wherever you are, museum, church, alleyway, sounds weird. So I went mad with it, and we just went crazy with it. So I can show you a couple of clips here. We're going to see what the capture process is like for the user inside a headset. So I'm outside the church. It gives you 3 stages. It basically says to you, how big's your space? Walk around it and show me your space, which is what you're sort of seeing here. Let's see the walls, and let's see the ceiling, and let's see the floor. And then it goes to part 2, which is, let's get a more detailed capture. Let's see that bin from every angle. So then you look a little bit weird again, walking slowly with a headset on in the street. There's quite a few photos of me online, looking a little bit odd. But I couldn't find a part 2 for outside, so we skipped to part 3. It's a really important bit for me that they include the ceiling. So if we're in here, the user gets a really nice tutorial on how to capture the scene to make sure you get all the view. Sorry, I wasn't pressing play. Okay, so for me, when I'm doing these sections, it's really important to get the trees from below, because when the user comes back in, I want them to be able to have a real slow sort of parallaxy around the objects that are close to them. I loved the fact that with the Hyperscape, you could get to see distance. It's almost like fake distance without actually having to scan all that distance, where before we had to photogrammetry scan the whole street. Now I just do a section, and it sort of cops it off. So yeah, people probably looking at me here, looking a little bit odd. Let's go. Okay, so then I went in the church, and with the headset, I scanned, and it took probably about half an hour in the headset. And then, play. This is in Hyperscape. If the audio was on, there's me saying lots of swear words, saying I can't believe that this is so fast to get the process back. But the process was upload to the cloud in the headset, and then about 3 hours later, Facebook did their thing, spat it back to me, said it's ready. I jumped in, started teleporting around. I'm like, oh my God, I can actually see around everything. I didn't think it would be so good. I was shocked. And when we used to work with the government and the people that needed it to be completely realistic and millimeter accurate, there was a need for the accuracy. But now there's a good enough point that we can make stories with it and visuals with it. So as I exit the training world and enter the entertainment and fun space, I get to do stories a lot more. So that looks stunning. It got me really, really interested in doing more. So Laura knocked me up a quick show reel today because I was absolutely gutted that I couldn't show everything because we've only got 20 minutes. So I said, quickly, let's do a little bit of a presentation of the things that are coming, that are projects we're working on, that everything you see here is Gaussians in a headset. So we've got the gunpowder plot. What else have we got? It's a rapid capture to do these things. So for me, I thought it was rapid at the time, walking around with a headset. And then I'm looking at this now. I want to talk about each scene, so I need to not look at the screen. Okay. Let's just let this play out, because it does look really good to be able to capture stuff. So yeah, I was very shocked and amazed. But as with everything, there's a few downsides to this looking amazing. If someone wanted to see it in the headset, I'd have to either go to them or get them to my house and put a headset on them, connect it to the internet, load my Hyperscape, and put them in it. Or if they've got their own headset, I could invite them now, because they've just opened it up in Horizons, so you can share the worlds. But look what happens when you're in Horizons. This is another scene by Facebook. There's a bit of talking. He was just talking random words to me, and I just landed in that scene. And I just thought, if I gave this to a client, this would not be what they want to see. So massive down point here for Meta. The fact that I can't export the scan. Sorry for anyone from Meta. They actually worked with me when we were testing this, and they don't reply to me anymore. I don't know if I annoyed them on the internet, but we now can't download it. I can't share it. I can't crop it. I can't edit it, but it's owned by Facebook. So I was looking for a new option. I needed to have a different option. So I put a few posts on LinkedIn, and I said, is there anyone out there that can lend me what I've heard about with the PortalCam? And there was. Matt and Mark from Visus, I think they're at the back, amazingly jumped on my LinkedIn and said, we've got a PortalCam, you can come and have a go with it, use some of the Visus software, Arena 4D, and have a little play around. And so Mark came around the house, lent me the scanner, and I had 3 days to do my thing, basically scan lots of things. It was the first time I'd ever seen it or played with it. So I went out and about, met my friend Callum, who's a tree surgeon, and he does a lot of historical sites around the UK. We went and did a massive scan with the PortalCam, because Matt and Mark told me that they've never really done a scan that's quite big, so I like that as a challenge, and we ended up doing a really big scan. So a few more pictures of it in location, in the church. This is the tomb again that we sold from the church. So I'm saying to the church and all the other historical sites that we're signing up now, they can all do the same thing. They can all monetize inside and out their digital twins. I'm going to go a little bit faster through this, but this is obviously filmed on the Meta glasses. It's a really good way of showing everyone what the user sees when they're doing these PortalCam scans. So sorry if I'm walking a little bit too fast. It was slow enough, but it was me learning. This is my first scan that we did. And then it went into Arena 4D for tweaking and playing. So Matt, I was amazed at how many different things you could do inside Arena 4D. So he started doing animation and adding the weather effects and lightning. And then we go through and we start seeing a bit more animation. The main thing I liked in this bit of the software was I could crop it. I could crop and make things smaller and get rid of any bits that are around the outside. Obviously something I couldn't do with Hyperscape. So yeah, animations. We did inside and out of this church. These are just screenshots from inside Arena 4D. And then we've got another video flying around it. And this was literally done sort of, we had the scanner last week, and I processed the guys were processing some of the scans, and this was the output over the last sort of 2 or 3 days. This was interesting to me. They added skybox and lighting, and then the lighting behind the church. It was really cool. Yeah, and weirdly enough, just behind here, I used to live when I was a child. So I'm literally scanning my childhood town. This was the screenshot that basically says, if I scroll down a bit, there's even more. We managed to do about 7 scans in 3 days in different places. Interestingly, we also went to McDonald's, which I'll show you shortly. But I've got friends in the art world, so let's go and scan a bit of street art. So we went to grab that, PortalCam. And then they were showing me the lighting again in the background. Really cool to get the instant visual. It goes out of LCC, so the XGrid software, into this. Then I was playing with it straight away. And we go again. Nice big image. It's nice to stand next to this. I need this at home so we can do presentations for this. Then we said, I've got a friend that works at McDonald's. And I thought, well, he's got a meeting with the CEO at the end of this month. So I said, should we do her a nice wow demo? And he said, yeah, and he gave me some money. And so I went and made a 3D film about his staff and how they like working at this McDonald's. And as an extra, I'm going to give them a 3D scan of a McDonald's in a headset. In her demo, she's going to watch a video, and then she's going to see the model in front of her and to be able to look around it. So that's why we did this scan, inside and out. Now, let's push the scanner. I thought, how far can we push it? I heard from people before that they did like a 20-minute scan, and I thought, let's try and get it a little bit more. So we managed to get 1,600 meters walked, and Callum took me around, I forget the name of the place, but we went and scanned lots of trees and look at the area. So we started down here on the left, walked all the way along to here. This data was also being processed while we were here in Prague, so I've literally was at the back of the room earlier sorting this out because they were just dropping me screenshots last minute. So Scott Gibson in the UK, amazing for the help, and Ian Jenkins as well, massively helpful. So here's a little video, 58-minute capture, it was actually 54, 20 million splats, 15 hours render time, Intel i9, 24 core, short video. We've got another little video after this. But it's nice to see all the areas that I walked were really, really detailed. Obviously, it gets sparser as you move out, but there was no set goal for me to scan anything particular, just walk as far as I could. We'll go through, because I think there's better video to see. Cool. PortalCam capture. This is a 1-minute video, and it really does show off. I think this does have a little bit of audio, but this does show off the area in which you can scan a lot more. The scanner was absolutely fine scanning this. I was walking around, taking screenshots and talking. I had my glasses on, so I was filming lots of it. It ended up, for the 3 days, I ended up just going to meet people, talking to them while scanning with the glasses on and just making content and capturing stuff. So it was basically a test to see how far we could push this scanner. And now, obviously, there's the new one released. I like to push it again. And I think already the Visas guys and Arena 4D already supports the LCC2. And they were sending me web links to look at this data on my phone. And I was blown with, I can actually share this with people straight away. Okay, big capture. I have to do some more of that. And they look amazing. Okay, so that's the Gaussians in there. That was my gateway drug, I think, and now I'm fully addicted. I've moved from photogrammetry and phones to headsets and Gaussians and XGrid scanners, and now I fly drones and stuff as well, so I already want to get the XGrid scanners above the trees, and let's film them from above, and let's make a better model. And this, if you turn the audio up on this,
with this scanner,
I had to stop scanning
scanner,
because I was at this place in Coventry.
Here, it says no photography.
And it was no photography allowed. And I hadn't got any permission. And so I thought that was the end of it. That was literally what stopped me from scanning, was the fact that
I don't think we're allowed.
No more.
Scanner's not allowed in this.
Not allowed. So here's the main bits about the comparisons. Yeah, this is the main bit. So for me, it is so much better to have the ease of the PortalCam. To be able to export in PLY and LCC is amazing. The Hyperscape stuff is fun, and it's really good for people to capture things really quickly in a headset. And you see people like Casey Neistat on their Instagram profiles, they now show links to their spaces. So Casey's put his headset on, scanned his space, shared his experience on Horizon, and then underneath his name on his Instagram, you click it, and you're in his apartment just walking around. So those things are nice if you, I don't know, I think it's going to be better in the headsets maybe for younger people, and the professionals are going to use more bigger scanning devices. And so where we're going in the future, this is at home testing Gaussians in Apple Vision Pro and on Meta Quest. So here is the Vision Pro. But the fact that we can just drop them straight into headsets, there's a little bit of background working. But now it's turned out to me that the PortalCam and that route is now just another way of collecting amazing 3D assets, putting them into, I call it buckets. So now we can just have loads of buckets of content. Some of it's 2D, 3D, objects, and videos. And now we're just going to start creating experiences for people. So when I talk about the future, we're working with Warwick Castle and the Lord Leicester Hospital. And that's my thing to scan. But we're working with all those people to try and push the limits of their... We want to historically scan all these places, but also make stories there. So, for example, at the castle, they have actors there already, and we're going to film the actors, make experiences, and then allow people to, while they're visiting, experience something a little bit more while they're there. But while you're at home, you'll be able to download something like an experience on Vision Pro to visit Warwick Castle virtually and not have to actually go there. So for me, Hyperscape was really good to get into it, but it's not going to be the way that I go in the future. I will only use the headset now for hosting my own experiences and my own builds. But yeah, thank you for inviting me, Michael. It's been the only thing that I wanted to do was obviously speak about more things. So maybe next year we can talk about some more stuff. It has been amazing, actually, to be in a space with all these people, because it's the only place that I actually feel comfortable around people like this. If we're doing a demo somewhere, I feel a little bit like trapped and a little bit like I've got to behave, not show the dead pigeon. But here, it feels a little bit better. Thank you.
Thank you so
Really
much.
good.
Alex, Harvey. We have time for one question,
Okay,
Alex.
I went over.
So, a quick one. Can you scan with 4 headsets at a time mounted on a big stick?
No.
No. Okay, very cool.
Maybe if you made some code to do it, maybe.
Okay. How
Not
did
with
you
my-
feel after using your set to scan for half an hour?
I'm used to staying in VR for about an hour.
An hour.
So it's absolutely fine. Yeah,
That's
good.
it. And the last one, what is the platform you prefer so clients can actually monetize on a scan?
I only handled Sketchfab for monetizing objects. I wouldn't know where to recommend. I'm just going to make my own apps to monetize it.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex, Harvey, one more round of applause.
Cool. Thank you,
Thanks.
mate.